In the annals of biblical history, there stands a figure whose life echoes the divine promises of God, Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah. Their story is one of longing, patience, and faith. They were a couple who yearned deeply for a child, their hearts heavy with desire, yet buoyed by the hope that God had planted within them. And God, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, heard their silent prayers. He made a promise to them, a promise that seemed impossible given their advanced years. But with God, we know that all things are possible. He promised that Sarah, in her old age, would conceive a child. This child would be no ordinary child, but a son through whom God's covenant would continue to flow. And so, in their old age, Sarah conceived and bore a son, whom they named Isaac, as foretold by the angel of the Lord. Yet, as Isaac matured, he became the unwitting participant in a test of his father Abraham's faith, a test that would echo through the ages. This was not a test of strength, nor of intellect, but a test of faith, the most profound examination of trust and obedience that one could endure. Abraham, the patriarch of the faith, found himself in the crucible of spiritual conviction. The Almighty, in his inscrutable wisdom, commanded Abraham to do the unthinkable, to offer his beloved son Isaac as a burnt offering. This was not a command to be taken lightly, nor was it a test to be passed with ease. Despite the heart-rending nature of the command, Abraham didn't falter. With a heavy heart and a steadfast faith, he set out for Mount Moriah, taking with him his son, a bundle of wood, and a heart full of trust in the divine. As they journeyed together, Isaac, in his innocence, posed a poignant question to his father. He observed the wood and the fire, but what of the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham, his heart aching with the weight of the truth, replied that God himself would provide the sacrifice. Upon reaching the appointed place, Abraham built the altar, arranged the wood, and bound Isaac, his beloved son. With every action, Abraham demonstrated an unparalleled level of faith, a faith unbroken, even as he raised the knife to sacrifice his son. But just as the blade was about to descend, the angel of the Lord called out from heaven, halting Abraham's hand. The test was over. Abraham had proven his faith by his willingness to sacrifice that which was most precious to him. In the thicket nearby, a ram was caught by its horns. This was God's provision, a substitute for Isaac. Abraham, filled with relief and gratitude, offered the ram as a burnt offering. But just as Abraham raised the knife, the angel of the Lord stayed his hand, providing a ram caught in the thicket as a substitute for Isaac. Thus, the test of faith was passed, and the covenant between God and Abraham was reaffirmed. The story of Abraham and Isaac's journey to Mount Moriah continues to be a powerful testament to the nature of true faith. In time, Isaac took Rebekah as his wife, a union blessed by God, which brought forth twin sons, Jacob and Esau. Isaac, now a husband and father, was entering a new chapter in his life, one filled with the joys and challenges of family life. Isaac's twin sons were as different as night and day. Esau, the eldest, was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, robust and earthy. He was his father's favorite, the one Isaac envisioned carrying on his legacy. Jacob, on the other hand, was a quiet man, dwelling in tents, a thinker rather than a doer. The dynamics within Isaac's family were complicated, to say the least. Isaac's favoritism towards Esau was evident, but Rebekah, Isaac's wife, had a soft spot for Jacob. This split in parental favoritism would eventually cause a rift within the family, leading to one of the most dramatic episodes in biblical history. One day, Esau returned from the field famished and asked Jacob for some of the red stew he was cooking. Jacob, seizing the opportunity, asked for Esau's birthright in exchange. Esau, in his hunger and impatience, agreed, selling his birthright for a bowl of stew. Later, when Isaac was old and his eyesight was failing, he called for Esau, intending to bless him before he died. But Rebekah, having overheard the conversation, hatched a plan. She dressed Jacob in Esau's clothes and covered his arms with goat skin to mimic Esau's hairy arms. Jacob, disguised as Esau, then approached Isaac and received the blessing intended for his brother. When Esau discovered the deceit, he was filled with rage and vowed to kill Jacob once their father had passed. To protect Jacob, Rebekah sent him away to her brother Laban in Haran, where he would remain for many years. Though Isaac favored Esau, it was Jacob who would inherit the birthright and blessings of their forefathers through cunning and divine providence. This twist in the narrative is a powerful reminder that in the grand scheme of God's plan, even the most unexpected events can serve a divine purpose. Throughout his life, Isaac was blessed by God, his flocks and herds multiplying, and his fields yielding bountiful harvests, a testament to God's faithfulness. Isaac was not only a man of abundant wealth, but also a man of abundant faith. His life was a living testament to the fulfillment of God's promises. He was a beacon of hope in a time of despair, a symbol of God's unending grace, and a living manifestation of divine providence. Isaac's life was not without challenges, yet he remained steadfast, his faith unshaken. Even when faced with famine, he did not waver in his trust in God's provision. Instead, he sowed in that land and reaped 100-fold, for the Lord blessed him. Isaac's prosperity was not just material, but spiritual as well. His faith was his greatest asset, his unwavering belief in God's promise, his most prized possession. Isaac's life was also marked by peace. He was a peacemaker, resolving disputes with grace and wisdom. When quarrels arose over the wells he dug, Isaac did not retaliate but moved on, trusting in God's guidance. His peaceful demeanor reflected his inner tranquility, a testament to his deep-seated faith in God. As Isaac grew old, he was surrounded by his loving family. His sons, Jacob and Esau, bore witness to the legacy of their father. They saw firsthand the blessings that came from a life lived in obedience to God. Isaac's faith was passed on to future generations, his legacy enduring long after his time on earth. In his final days, Isaac's faith remained unshakable. He blessed his sons, passing on the covenant God had made with Abraham. His final act was one of faith, entrusting his sons with the divine promises of God. And so, Isaac lived out his days in peace, surrounded by his family and the promises of God, his faith unwavering till the end. His life serves as a timeless testament to the power of faith and the enduring promises of God. Isaac's legacy lives on, a beacon of hope and faith for generations to come. Thus, the life of Isaac, marked by faith, obedience, and the enduring promises of God, remains a timeless testament to the power of divine providence. Isaac's story, one that spans from miraculous birth to lasting legacy, holds profound significance in biblical history. His life serves as a vibrant thread in the tapestry of the Abrahamic faiths, weaving a narrative of trust, sacrifice, and divine intervention. Through Isaac, we see the manifestation of God's covenant with Abraham, a covenant that would shape the course of history. His trials and triumphs are not just mere historical footnotes, but potent reminders of faith's resilience and the unfailing promises of God. Isaac's life story continues to inspire, reminding us of the power of faith and the strength of divine promises. His legacy lives on, a beacon of hope and faith for generations. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more biblical stories like this.